Hey, what's going on, people? Q here with Tech Rants, and today I'll be giving you the top five budget phones that you should pick up for Christmas. Now, keep in mind all of these phones are going to be $400 or less, and these are phones that pack a good amount of bang for your buck. And I know 400 bucks may not seem like a budget phone, but definitely 400 and under. The cheapest phone on this list will probably be about definitely be under 200 bucks. So just stay tuned. I got something for everybody. Let's talk about it. All right, so I actually thought about it. So we're gonna actually call this the best budget slash mid-range phones that you can get for the holidays. Especially things that I think they're gonna be best bang for your buck. Now keep in mind these are phones that I do not own, but these are phones that I definitely have played around with. Actually, a couple on this list I do own. So these are, but definitely these are phones that I played around with, and I can actually tell you for sure you're definitely gonna get your money's worth. Coming in at number five will be the Motorola Moto X4. And the reason why it's number five on my list is because, well, it offers a stock Android experience. They have an Android One version, and definitely, it got the Pi update actually, and it's just a wonderful phone. Now, it's also the smallest phone on the list, coming in at 5.2 inches. It still has the old 16 by 9 aspect ratio, but me personally, I don't care about this new 18 by 9 or 19 by 9, with all these new stupid ratios that they're coming around with. That really doesn't bother me. It has a 1080p display, has a 3000 milliamp hour battery. It does have a fingerprint sensor, and like I said, it's pretty much an Android One experience, and it's definitely going to be good for at least the next year or two. Now, you can grab this one on Amazon for, I believe, 189 bucks. So, matter of fact, let me go ahead and check the price of the Moto X4, and I'll come back and let you guys know what it is. All right, so I checked Amazon. You can actually get the Moto X4 for 179 bucks, and you get, like I said, 3 to 4 gigs of RAM, 32 or 64 gigs of storage, and you're getting that pure stock Android experience. So, if you ask me, that's a really good deal for a stock Android phone. Plus, the name Motorola is well known around households. So definitely a good buy. All right, coming in at number four, I'm going to have to give that one to the Nokia 7.1. Now, I really wanted this phone to make my number one list, but there are some reasons why it did not. But definitely for 350 bucks, you're getting the Qualcomm Snapdragon 636 processor. You get a dual camera setup on the back. You get a nice front-facing camera. You got a 5.84-inch HDR compliant display. Very nice. Yes, it does have a notch, but honestly, who really cares? You're getting Android One, so basically you're getting those Android updates for at least 2 years, maybe up to 3 years, and then you get different security patches for at least 3 years. So definitely a wonderful choice for a stock Android experience. You get 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, and you can put all the way up to a 400 gigabyte micro SD card slot. And the phone, like I said, for 350 bucks, it's really solid. I think they could have put in a better processor, charging that much for a phone within that, that much and not offering as much. I mean, the 636, I'm not going to say it's a bad processor, but it definitely, if it was a 710, I could probably see them justifying paying the, you're paying the $350 price tag. But honestly, I think it should have been about 250, and then we could have had something to talk about. But it is a wonderful phone, definitely worth the buy. If you ask me, I would definitely consider picking it up. So coming in at number four, I'm gonna have to give that one to the Nokia 7.1. All right, coming in at number three, I really thought hard about this one, and out of all the ones I could have given it to, I'm gonna have to give it to the Nokia 6.1. Now let's talk about the Nokia 6.1. When it first launched, it was $270. Now you can get it on Amazon for a whopping $169. That is a really good price considering what you get. Now you get a Qualcomm Snapdragon 630 processor. You get it's between 3 to 4 gigs of RAM and 32 or 64 gigs of storage. You definitely you got the dual camera setup on the back, and what's making this coming in at number one. I mean, the number one. I'm getting ahead of myself. What's making this come in at number three over the Nokia 7.1 is the fact that it's Android One. Okay. Now, it does not have a futuristic design as well as the Nokia 7.1, but who cares? Yes, it is. Yes, it's only a 1080p display. Yes, it has those big bezels around the sides, but you're getting a pure stock Android experience. You're getting what Google has intended it for you to get. And for an Android One phone that's going to receive updates for at least the next 2 years, to come in at $169. Like I said, it's cheaper than the Moto X4. Now, of course, if you really want the Moto X4, you have to just pay a little bit more. But the Moto X4 came out last year. Nokia 6.1 came out the second quarter of this year. So definitely, I got to give that one to the Nokia 6.1 in my opinion. It is a wonderful phone. Yeah, it has a few hiccups here and there if you have too many apps open, but it is a flawless phone. Gameplay is good on it. It just performs the way you would expect a pure stock Android phone to perform. So coming in at number three, I'm gonna have to give that to the Nokia 6.1. All right, coming in at number two, and this one is kind of a little bit biased, but these are both wonderful phones. And I've had them, I've loved them. Well, I've had one of them, and it's pretty much the same phone, and I'll explain it here in a second. But coming in at number two is going to have to be the Honor 7X or the Huawei Mate SE. Now, why am I giving these phones a number two spot versus why didn't I put one of the Android One phones at the top of this list? Well, simply because one, Huawei's an underdog. Okay, I've got to give it to Huawei. They really have made phones and under the $200 price range that have been killer. Now, let's talk about the prices for that. So, the Honor 7X, you can get that on Amazon for 169 bucks. 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage. Battery life on that phone is incredible. Good cameras, fast fingerprint sensor, and you're definitely going to get those updates. Now, from what I hear, the Honor 7X will definitely get Android Pie, and it seems like with every update Honor comes out with or Huawei, it gets better. I don't know why. And then the Honor 7X, I mean the Huawei Mate SE, you can get that for 219 bucks. You get 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, and it's the same phone, just an extra gigabyte of RAM, double the storage. And they come with a case in the box that I absolutely like. I actually, well, I gotta say I love the case. I'm not really been into screen protectors, but I absolutely love the case that comes with those phones. Just a clear case, and it kind of makes you show off the wonderful and the beautiness of the phone. So I have to give it to Huawei, man, and or Honor. Same people. Honor just a kind of a sub brand of Huawei. So I got to give it to those guys, man. Number two, Huawei. Mate SE or the Honor 7X, especially because they're getting updates. They're phones that are going to receive updates, and for under 200 bucks, like I said, and I'm giving it to it because outside of an Android One, Android One, you have to get those updates, but Huawei, they don't have to. So the fact that they're committed to updates, and they're putting their updates platform as what on pretty much the same schedule as they're doing their flagships, you don't find that in a lot of people. Usually they just make budget phones and mid-rangers just to forget about them, just throw them to the side. So Huawei has promised 3 month every 3 months, so security updates at least, or bi-monthly security updates, and that's what they pretty much done. The Honor 7X, when I had it, it was getting consistent updates, and when it got like a GPU turbo feature, and it just made the phone faster, and that phone just flies through. So basically, Honor 7X, Huawei Mate SE, number two spot. Stay tuned for number one. All right, everybody. So for the number one spot, drum roll, please. Matter of fact, let's get a real drum roll. All right. So let's go ahead and get the number one phone for my list for best budget phones or mid-rangers of 2018. Alexa, drum roll, please.
Okay.
The Blue Vivo 11 Plus. Now, why is this phone getting my number one spot out of all these other phones? Well, first of all, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. Now, Blue is also a underdog. Okay, you're getting a MediaTek processor, and it's going to drive a lot of people away. But honestly, I've had phones with MediaTek processors, and they pretty much snap through, no problems whatsoever. Okay, you get 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage for under 300 bucks, and you get a phone with wireless charging for under 300 bucks. That's a killer deal for me. That is a killer deal. A phone with wireless charging for under 300 bucks. Okay, yes, it's running Android Oreo, but it was scheduled to get Android Pie. You get 2 cases in the box, and you pretty much just one stop shop. And it is a budget flagship killer. Okay, the Blue Vivo 11 Plus might as well be considered a flagship because it has pretty much flagship specs. A lot of people talked about Blue, but when the Blue Vivo 11 Plus came out, then people want to praise Blue. So I played around with it a little bit. It is a phenomenal phone, and that's why I'm giving it my #1 spot. I wanted to give it to Huawei. I really wanted to give it to Huawei, but if you want best bang for your buck for anywhere between 250 to 300 bucks, you got to go with the Blue Vivo 11 Plus. So those are my top 5. So stay tuned for my conclusion and how I came up with what I did. All right, everybody. So, I know this list may not be to everybody's liking and things of that nature, but honestly, it was hard to come up with this list because we live in a world now where there are so many budget phones and so many phones that you can get at really good prices from, even now when Blue came out with the Blue Book XL4, which I did not put on this list, but I have my reasons. It came out for 99 bucks if you had a Prime membership. And there are a lot of good phones that you can get for under $400 that are considered budget and mid-range devices that are going to perform and they can hang with flagship devices. Now, like I said, some people may not agree with this, but like I said, best budget and mid-range phones you can get, those right there, yes. Now, like I said, I put Blue #1 is because you get a lot of features and you get flagship features at budget prices. Okay, 300 bucks. I know that may not seem like a budget price, but for what you get, you can't beat that price at all, especially for a phone that's going to work here in the U.S. Now, the Android One phones, they did make the list because I am a big fan of stock Android. So, but some phones just had to be switched around. I definitely support my underdogs. I definitely support Huawei. I wanted to put ZTE on this list, but I did not play around with any ZTE phones this year. Besides the Blade Z Max, but it's pretty much discontinued. So all these phones that like I said, that I came up with, I played around with, and I liked them for whatever reasons I did. So definitely, guys, if you're looking in a market for a good budget to mid-range phones, definitely check out this. Check out this list, consider it, look at it, see what you like, see what you don't like. So let me know down in the comments. Are you guys thinking about getting any of these phones? Do you have any of these phones? If so, how do you like it? Definitely, if this is helpful, informative, entertaining in any way, leave a like on the video, comment down below what you guys think. Like I said, leave your questions, comments, and concerns. Subscribe if you enjoy the content. Share, tell your friends, all that other good stuff. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Later.